Hey there YouTube, Heir of Carthage here. I've been toying around with some new strategies which has caused me a number of losses, but I've found one that I tend to be a little bit fond of. Now it's not invincible by any means, it's definitely still a risky strategy, but if you use it properly it can be very helpful. And what it is that it's an army that has a small but very powerful core of swords. You need a fair number of spears, and then you also need some bow strength, with several of those units being in bow cavalry because you need the mobility. So mobility is going to be the key of this army, but it's not going to come completely infantry weak. I want my infantry to be able to deal a massive bout of damage to my opponent, and then my bows, of course, are for the little bit of standoff kills that I hope to gain. So let me introduce you to the army I brought here. I got my long spear quick death unit. This is my long Ashigaru. I love the long Ashigaru, that's a cool unit. Then I've got two of my veteran bow samurai up front. Both of them have 7 chevrons. These guys have whistling arrow plus full reload. I think it's full reload, full accuracy, and 1 bow damage. So these guys are pretty good, and pretty soon I'm going to have increased range on them, which is going to make them even more effective. And the reason I did this is because with the increased range, they'll have extra numbers and be almost as good as a bow monk, but cost less. So that's the idea there. Plus they have armor and bow monks don't. I have 2 Yari Ashigaru. One is capturing this morale shrine up here. And then I have 4 of my veteran Nodachis. Patchy, 2 non-veteran Katana Cav. I've got 3 non-veteran Light Cav. And then here's my 3 bow Cav, all of which are veteran units. I'll show you them later. My opponent's army, he's quickly approaching with his Cav, attempting to make... to capitalize on the fact that my mobility is not really in the best position to face him. He's got 3 extremely good cav units. You can see this very well upgraded fire cav. It's got good attack, solid defense, just all around great cav unit right there. He's got this Naginata warrior monk cav, which has got war cry, which won't be warmed up yet though because he's quickly rushing into battle. It's also got very good stats, and then the same thing here with another Naginata warrior monk cav. So this is a very tough cav, but I do have a number of spears, and I also have a lot of my own cav units, even though they're qualitatively inferior. He is charging right up the center. He's got some insane sword units, which have some of which have bonsai, and they're katana units, so he's obviously a member of a sword specialism clan. And these katana units obviously cost him a lot of money. He's got a Nodachi running up front. I'm going to bonsai my Nodachis, get them inspired. I'm going to charge this one that's on the downhill, so that'll help give me an advantage. And I'm going to charge forward and meet him in battle. If I don't charge, then my Nodachis are wasted, but his men, you can better believe they're going to have almost equal charge, plus they have bonsai. So this is going to be a standoff of some major swords. He's also got some extremely good Matchlock warrior monks, 2 of them. And then he's got some Yari Ashigaru to guard him. Here's his general. It is a melee avatar, and I am firing at it with bows, and then I charge it with a katana samurai unit, or katana cav unit, sorry. This is going to wreck his avatar's bodyguard pretty good. However, the stupid thing with matchlocks is the more accurate they are, like these guys, they'll actually be able to fire through the back of their general, causing few casualties, while really mowing down my katana cav for the most part. So my opponent decides to ignore my katana cav, which is kicking his butt, and run straight for my general. Back here, he did get really surrounded with his cav, and I have spears in here, including a long Yari Ashigaru. He does pop the war cry, but the damage has been done to his cav. So my 3 light cav and spears ended up annihilating his much more expensive cav force. But as far as the infantry fight goes, I have some really tough swords, plus I have Blade Master and Drill Square on, but his swords are tougher, and plus they have bonsai and all that other stuff. Here I managed to win a couple of local fights, but you know, it was a Pyrrhic victory on every place that I won. Patchy just got injured, as you heard, but the enemy general is also dead. At this point he has swords left, but in this position the last thing I want to do is stand here to fight. So I'm going to sacrifice this one bow samurai unit to hold these guys down while the other one flees. He's got his matchlocks opening up. These guys have 125 range, and then it goes to... sure, these guys have 100 range. It's the other unit, I think, that had the 125 range. And plus Matchlock warrior monks can do the short period extended range deal. One thing my opponent was unable to kill, though, is my bow cav, which badly damaged this Matchlock unit here. And my bow cav are continuing to try and do some damage. I've got to stay away from his Matchlocks, though. His Matchlocks can waste my bow cav. One of my bow cav, let me show you those units. You can see that I'm running away and trying to draw his swords into a more one-on-one type fight. I do have a unit of katana cav left, too. It's not very high in numbers, and his swords are so tough that I'm not necessarily certain that it would be able to overcome them, especially with these Matchlocks in the vicinity. but I do need to buy time, so I am going to go ahead and charge it forward and cause what damage I can cause. No matter how good your sword units are, Katana Cav is going to be good against them, and you can see that I wreck in, and my Katana Cav, let's watch it here, is going to go ahead and rack up some kills pretty quick, but he's going to open up with the Matchlock. You can see his men are under the rally ability. This is not going to last forever, and so I don't really want to have any more engagements until that is worn off. My bow cav is back here, and I'm just going to take all the shots I can get at his Matchlock units. Bow cav is a bit glitchy sometimes. When you take them out of fire at will, sometimes they'll stop firing like they have here. So I have to run them away when I see his Matchlocks turn to open fire. He gets a few kills, but, well, a few, I say, is about a dozen kills, it looks like, in the end. Matchlock are extremely accurate. It's insane. These Matchlock units are more accurate than my bow units, probably. If we take a look, accuracy 82. You look at my bow units, and these guys are only accuracy 62. I mean, tell me how that makes sense. The Matchlock in and of itself was horribly inaccurate. It didn't have rifling. It was hard to aim, and everything else. So that just doesn't make sense in any way, shape, or fashion. So I'm okay with Matchlocks being in the game. It's just stats like these that are absolutely ludicrous. And plus the reload speed. If you look at his reload, he has 42 reload skill, and my bows over here have 62 reload skill. So what they're saying is essentially that it only takes about 33% longer to reload a Matchlock than it does a bow, and we all know that's absolutely ludicrous as well. Let's see. My bow cav I'm following with, and I'm going to take pot shots at his more powerful Matchlock unit, because all the damage I can cause to hit, the better. Bow cav is, it's an interesting unit. Basically, I think they have really low missile damage, which is why there's 3 missile damage upgrades available to them. 2 are clan upgrades. And one of my units here, which is Patchy's Ride-By Patchy's, it has 1 bow damage upgrade, it has extended ammunition, full accuracy, and full reload. So it is indeed a tough unit, and soon I'm going to put extended range on it, so that'll be 175 range bow cav. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want some stuff to lash out against Matchlocks with, and those 200 range bow monks. So if I bring a pretty sturdy foot archer component, and then bring several horse archer components, I can really harass enemy armies effectively, and also harass Matchlock units effectively. But you can see here that bow cav are not all that accurate versus moving targets, for whatever reason that is. Their accuracy belies sometimes, like it's, you know, my accuracy on this bow cav reads really high, but it won't do as much damage as you think. Increasing the bow damage is definitely helpful in the bow cav, but you still need to go ahead and increase the reload speed and stuff too. Here I made a stupid move. He's going to get some good shots into my cav and kill quite a lot of them. I went back into loose formation quickly and continued to run. Fortunately, again, it was just about a dozen losses, and I still have quite a bit of bow cav left. But I have heavily damaged both of his Matchlock units. The only thing is I had this morale shrine. My opponent's going to come up here and chase away this unit that I used to capture it, so he's going to gain the morale shrine. My bow cav do have a lot of ammunition, especially my Ride-By Patchies, but the other 2 don't have as much ammunition. So let's see, let's take a look at my other T's. These are new ones. I have the Aim Below the Belt, which is one of my old names that I resurrected, and then I have Air Mail. I was pretty proud of that one. Huh? That's pretty good, right? You all are proud of Air for that? I mean, you should be. Anyway, these are all some cool units. I've got them in gold armor, I think, except for my Ride-By Patches might be in a different color, I don't remember. I love the gold armor, I think it looks sweet. I put it on a lot of my units. The one unit I have left here that's actually good in melee is this long Yari-Eshigaru, and they will pwn a lot of sword units. Now, will they pwn his insane sword units? Probably not, but he doesn't have many numbers left, so it's very much a possibility if I get them into Spear Wall. But right now I'm trying to regroup my units, and even though it's going to take a while, that's what I have to do. At the same time, I'm going to harass his retreating units to the best of my ability with my bow cav, while staying clear of his Matchlocks. So you can see that the morale shrine is falling from my control into his control rather quickly. In fact, I think it's already in his control. No, it says it's still controlled by me. Yeah, because I'm the red player on the mini-map, so when the red flag's up, that means it's controlled by me. He'll be changing that, though. You can see the flag lowering as he captures it. Check this out. My bow cav's going to wheel up here. Now, bow cav do get pretty good kills against unit like Yari-Eshigaru. They have poor kill rates against bow monks for whatever reason. They also have good kill rates against Matchlocks when they're in the right position. So you got to make sure and use them right. You want to skirmish, get in, get out. That's the advantage of bow cav, of course, over foot units, is that you can get in and out of a fight quickly. And although the enemy might outrange you sometimes, you can move around and lessen the effect of their arrows, make them waste ammunition, or just go clean around their army if they don't bring any mobility. Like, alright, my opponent brought mobile forces, it's just that he no longer has them left, so I can come from whatever angle I want and make it very difficult for his troops to fight back. Now, as soon as these spears turn their back, I'm going to turn back on them. This is an effective bow cav strategy, and you should always use bow cav like this to draw your opponent out and take advantage of those kills. So you can see there I got a sweet number of kills on that volley. And I'm going to keep chasing this unit because for every man my opponent loses, that's one less man he has for the final fight. Would I prefer to be firing at his matchlocks? Absolutely. But I'm more than happy to kill men in his army. You can see that the angles have a lot to do with it too. I had a better angle over here. On that angle, a lot of my arrows flew high. Over here I'm just regrouping my army. These Wind of Pain bow samurai, these guys are basically just waiting, and I'm trying to get all my spears together here. I've got 3 units. My morale's pretty crappy. My opponent has captured the morale shrine, so his is going to be quite good. Well, he hasn't captured it quite yet. In fact, that's what I'm trying to do right now, I forgot. He hasn't captured it yet, so I'm trying to prevent him from capturing it, so I'm going to come out here and shoot the daylights out of this unit. You can see that I'm causing a lot of casualties very quick, even causes them to waver. But he's smart, and he's going to start running in circles around in here, which is going to buy him time and allow him to continue capturing it. Now, I can prevent him from capturing this with cavalry, but I cannot capture it myself unless the cavalry is dismounted. But that would be folly indeed, as my opponent would come out of the forest with his units and make me pay for that. So again, watch the sweet skirmishing power of bow cav. They're not like as powerful as horse archers in Rome Total War, but they are a very good unit when used properly. And whenever you make sure that you have supremacy of the field as far as cavalry goes. If you have cav supremacy, then bow cav will be a unit that you do not want to see. I say, if you have cav supremacy, it's a unit that you're going to make high use of. If you don't have the cav supremacy, it's going to be a unit that you would rather not be there, because they're going to pick at you extremely effectively. And they can come in from every angle, they can move quickly, they can cover great distances on the battlefield, so a very useful unit. Here he's going to charge me. I'm going to stand my ground for a moment, just unleash as many point-blank volleys as I can, because that's where I'll get a lot of kills. I have a very good angle right here. You can see these guys are down to 69 men already. You can see their corpses littered all around this circle. And there they go ahead and rout. I was going to chase them and make them shatter, but my opponent popped out with more infantry, and I can't risk losing my bow cav to any of his matchlocks that might be here. So this unit is going to come back from routing, which is frustrating. But, you know, my opponent's playing smart here. He wants this morale shrine, and he knows that if he can keep that, he's got a few sword units. If he can put a few matchlock volleys down on my infantry, put his sword units in on bonsai or something, that they'll probably win the fight. So he's willing to throw these spears away. Personally, I think that my opponent shouldn't have fought for the morale shrine. He should have let me have it, and he should have put all of his men in these woods, because I have arrows, and my arrows would have been less than effective fighting him in the woods. Yes, his morale would have been lower, but he would have had more men than me, and he also would have had the matchlocks, and I think that he would have easily destroyed me. But I could be wrong. I don't know. I feel like I understand the mechanics of this game pretty good, but I still lose sometimes, and I still get stuff wrong. So there may be a reason behind this that I'm not aware of, or maybe he's just, he knows something that I don't. But regardless of what I do know or don't know, I'm going to push my advantage totally and completely on my opponent, and that is mobility. So the more units he sends out here, the better. I'm going to just shoot the crap out of all of them while they're out of the woods. Loose formation will not protect you very much from bow cav fire when it's a unit like Yashigaru. You'll still take a lot of losses very quickly. And since their morale is poor, they'll demoralize. And it's a lot of this for a long time. Some of you may think this kind of stuff is boring, but the kind of army I brought, it's essential to maximize the money that you spend on missiles. If you're going to spend a lot of money on bows, you better darn well make sure those bows get every opportunity they fire. So some people might say, this is kind of cheapy to keep running away. Bull crap. That's the way this army was meant to fight. It would be absolute idiocy of me to charge into his units before I've completely discharged missiles all over them. Some of y'all may remember my battle with the Prince of Macedon. It was a similar situation. My infantry destroyed his because of its extreme superior quality. But he had a lot of missile units, and rather than being stupid and charging right in, he sat back and shot me with the missiles until such a point where he could charge in. So, this is something that's definitely a viable strategy, and you need to take advantage of it, as I was saying. Check out my bow cav, just harassing the crap out of these Yashigaru. getting pretty good kills on them every time a volley comes in, because they're in loose formation and running, and I'm still getting a solid number of kills. Of course, my bow-cav are upgraded. Let's see, I am moving my infantry down here, slowly, making sure that I don't get myself into a bad position. I'm going to let my bow-cav exercise the full presence of their nuisance, basically. Check them out chasing these guys back into the woods. I'm not going to get too close to the woods, though, because I know that my opponent for a brief moment can have 150 range with one of his Matchlock units. So I have to be extraordinarily careful. If you look at my range, it's just barely going into these woods. So the only way he could hit me is if he had a Matchlock unit hidden right here, which he very well might. So I'm not getting any closer than that. I'm also sometimes leaving fire at will on. It seems like whenever you know that the only enemy target is the one you want to hit that's within your range, leaving fire at will on is pretty good, because then the bow-cav will shoot it while they're moving around from different angles. If you're wanting to hit a very specific target with the bow-cav, you have to turn off fire at will and then target that particular unit that you want to hit, because if you don't and the bow-cav is still on fire at will, even if you click a command order, it will likely ignore you and just shoot whatever it wants. So that's a little glitch in the game that you should probably be aware of, and it will help you use your bow-cav better. This unit right here is wavering, which is what I like to see. You can see this has gone back to neutral. Yeah, it's gone. It says he controls it, but it's gone back to neutral because it has a white flag. But he's going to go back and try and capture it again. You see that flag moving up as his men stand there. But my bow-cav are taking their toll on these poor Yari souls. That's what these guys are born to do in Shogun 2, is to just be a fodder unit. And it seems to be what they excel at. I mean, this guy's probably not too pleased that that became his mission in life. That looks like a pretty good arrow right there. Right through the upper chest, it looks like. That's got to be a punctured lung or something. No good indeed. Oh, check out this guy. He's got a pretty mortal injury there, too. Ooh, that one is right up in the clavicle area. Maybe a neck hit. Might have gotten an aorta. I guess that guy quit writhing. Let's see. So what am I doing? Okay, I'm taking the shrine back out of his control. I think it is under his control at the moment, but I'm not certain. It says it's controlled by him, so I'm going to assume that it is. Now, over here, my bows got a little too close to the woods. His Matchlocks popped a couple of shots and nearly routed them. I've got my spears hidden down here, because I want to keep them out of his view. Maybe make him think that I'm sneaking up, and his units will have to stay there. I do believe that a couple of my bow-cav units either have run out of ammo or about to. It's my two lesser upgraded units that may have run out of ammo at this point. Yeah, I'm not really sure. We'll find out here. Let's see. Come on, go ahead and start shooting. I was being pretty conservative with my ammo at this point. Yeah, these two have run out of ammo, so my best bow-cav unit is the only one that has any left. Not sure why I'm... Seems like even though bow-cav has good reload, they don't reload very fast sometimes. But then again, I can't remember what buttons I'm pushing right now. Kind of seems like with 52 reload, they should be reloading quicker. But they are on horseback, so it's kind of realistic to make that reload slower. My opponent has a lot of spears in this unit. I'm trying not to waste too many arrows, and so I'm going to try and maybe surround it and charge it. I did hit it with whistling arrows from my bow samurai. My bow samurai do have those whistling arrows, and that causes a lot of morale damage. And I was hoping that that would make them drop out of the fight, and that way I could shatter them with the units of cav. But these guys managed to hang on. The whistling arrow effect ran out. I did charge them, though, from behind, but I'm going to have to immediately get out of that fight, and it is going to cost me some cav. But since these guys are pretty demoralized, it'll kind of minimize the losses I take there. I took 4 or 5 losses. These guys are shaken, and they're down to 63 men now from 90. It's kind of surprising they're still in the fight, but in some ways not, because if you look at their morale, it's 11, because they captured that shrine. But if you look at their attack, it's only 1, because I played the Fugu Cook on these guys. I play, right now, the retainers I'm using is the Fugu Cook, the Shinobi Informer, and that's because I can see the army my opponent has brought. No one brings the Metsuke Inspector anymore because the days of people bringing the Shinobi Informer has kind of been over, and everybody brings all of their retainers like World Weary and Fugu Cook and Blade Master. They bring all that stuff, and all that stuff's good, but I'm willing to sacrifice a slot to see what my opponent is bringing, because then I can prepare for it, and you'll definitely see how that Shinobi Informer actually helped me do very well in the next battle. I guess I'm giving away the ending, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I mean, I gave away the ending, so I apologize for that, but you're not going to be disappointed in the battle because it is an epic battle to the very end. Kind of like this one. This one's kind of an epic battle. It does take a lot longer, though, because I have to pick apart my opponent. I hate doing this kind of stuff because I am more of an attacking person, but like I said, when you bring this kind of army, you have to maximize on that stuff or else you're going to die. If I just went ahead and charged my opponent with all my infantry and cav, he would kill me. Check out these Yari wavering, running away. He is pulling some matchlocks around, so that's why I started to come to the safe distance. I've got these bow samurai over here. These guys still have plenty of ammo, actually. So I've still got a lot of ammo left, and that's a big problem for my opponent, because if I kill all of his throwaway units, I can then take the morale shrine, and it's going to tilt the favor of this battle much to my favor. You can look over here and see that my spears have pretty poor morale. They're not anywhere near an enemy. And I'm really worried about charging towards matchlocks, as I think he could rout my men almost instantly. Let's watch these guys, see if we can get some cinematic views here. Oh yeah, these guys don't have any ammo, but you can look out there and watch them charging towards my bow cav while getting shot by my unit that has ammo. It's pretty cool. These guys are shattered now, so as soon as they shattered, I quit firing. Oh yeah, this is my unit that has ammo. I was just using my bow samurai though because they had plenty of ammo left. Trying to conserve some of the ammo on these ride-by Apaches. They may be out of ammo now, but you can see how much ammo a bow cav with extended ammunition has. This unit's been firing since the beginning of the battle. They have a lot of ammunition. That's why I'm saying that if you lose your mobility and someone has this bow cav like this, you're going to take a lot of bow fire before you're ever able to just, have them charge at you. Now, unfortunately for me, there's not a bow building on this map, or else I could have captured it, gone and recharged all my ammunition, and then come back after my opponent. I'm sure that if there was a bow shrine, he wouldn't have allowed me to capture that, because then I could have just fired at him all day long. So I'm going to go ahead and try and capture. I dismounted so that I can capture this morale shrine. I need it. Right now I'm just trying to take it back from him. You can see that it's still in his possession. My opponent does not want me to take this. I'm sure right now he's thinking, he moved these swords in this direction to help protect this flank. Look at the stats on these guys. 17 morale, 25 attack, 15 melee defense, and 20 charge. These guys have beastly stats. And it's because he spent an ungodly amount of koku on them. And they also have clan upgrades because he's in that sword clan. So he spent a lot of his money on these guys, but they are very good. Very, very good indeed. I mean, they survived a fight with my extremely upgraded, what do you call them, Nodachi Samurai. So if that tells you anything, and I had Blade Master and Drill Square on, which gives me +3 attack, +3 defense for my sword units. I'm sure he's using those same upgrades, though. He's probably got Blade Master, Yagyu, Sword Instructor, and Drill Square, which is probably giving him +3 defense and +5 attack. Alright, so he is coming out of the woods. He doesn't like me capturing this morale shrine. He's hoping to make a stand out here in a defensive position. The problem is I still have ammo left with these bow samurai, and I'm going to make use of that ammo. In fact, my whistling arrows have recharged. These guys are actually hidden at the moment. And I'm going to fire up and over this hill with whistling arrows to try and demoralize my opponent. So here you can hear the whistling arrows. I don't think I actually got any kills with them, but you can see the effect. I probably should have waited and fired whistling arrows once I had more units around. It would have caused a bigger demoralizing effect. These guys still have 17 morale even after getting hit by whistling arrows, though. So I do fire my fire arrows now and get some more kills. Nothing like a flaming monk kebab to get your appetite roused. Lame joke, lame joke. Hope you all don't mind watching this long battle, and I have one more battle after this, so you're going to get quite a lot of battle going on here. But, I mean, it seems like you like these long videos, and the ones that show some tactics and where my opponent's a very good player. And especially this one's a close battle, you all ought to enjoy that. It's not a takeaway victory for either player. It's pretty strategic. I'm going to fast forward for a moment. Not a whole lot going on other than he started chasing my bows. So I gave him a quick charge with my ride-by patches. It is just a bow cav unit and he bonsai'd, so I would lose that very quickly. So I charge out, got to keep my units alive. A routing unit would cause even more morale damage to my men. I'm going to run away with these bow samurai. These guys may even have increased speed, it's hard to say. But now, once their bonsai wears off, these guys are screwed. They're separated from their army, and I have cav behind them charging downhill. Check this out. There's one of my bows getting stabbed, but right afterwards, I get some swift revenge for my bows and absolutely trash the remainder of this samurai unit. I love bow cav. And there's nothing greater than using bow cav and melee successfully too, because then it becomes a more versatile unit. My spears have come up the hill now. My opponent does have the morale shrine still, so he's got huge morale, but now he has very few men left. And I'm going to start taking advantage of that. I'm sneaking this cav up in the woods. You can't see my opponent's arc of fire, but it probably comes somewhere out in this range, so I can kind of sneak through just right here and try and come in from the side. And then I'll use this unit over here as the distraction to come in from the front, so that he can't fire at both positions at once, and I will get these guys in melee one way or another. Now over here, my bow samurai still have ammo, so it's simple from this direction. I'm just going to continue to fire with my bow samurai. And then from over here, I'm going to save my infantry for just the right moment and then charge them in once I'm dead certain this is over. But of course, at this point, it really is over. I've got a lot of ammunition for my bows. He's got 40 swords left, and you can see by these guys' stats that they're not to be underestimated. But still, there's only 40 of them left, and their morale is still, well, it's actually still good, but eventually their morale will fade as the rest of the army starts to rout too. So it won't take much to put these guys into a waiver. So here my plan's going into action. Throwaway unit here that's dismounted. They can't get back to their horses really. While my bow cav comes in from the side. Look at this pretty well executed side charge. He gets a few shots, but this unit's now screwed, and his swords are committed. And then over here, my dismounted bow cav are also going to enter melee. So talk about versatile. These guys have gone into melee on the horse, melee on the ground, and shot from horseback. That's what I'm talking about. I threw my ride-by patches in here as well now. And then my spears are running in. I didn't end up needing them because I picked apart his army so much. But if these guys had started to rout, like had I charged, some of you may be like, Aaron, you could have charged them a long time ago. If I had and these spears started to rout, it would have been a demoralizing chain effect onto my cav units too. So you got to be very careful that when your general's gone, you don't let too many of your units start to rout, or else they'll all start to rout. It can be a very dangerous situation. Very good game to my opponent. I forgot to save the results screen. I apologize. But very good game to my opponent. Hope you're ready for another battle. So stay tuned.